Hi, I'm Christine Levy, founder, CEO, and thought leader of Levy Educational Advocacy, and I'm here with Stacey Souza.
Hi, my name is Stacey Souza. I'm the lead educational advocate from Levy Educational Advocacy, and I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you here, and so lucky to have you as part of our team. We are very excited today to talk about our launch of Levy Academy. And we wanted to share a little bit about what Levy Academy is, what are our goals, and how it continues our movement through our mission and vision of Levy Educational Advocacy.
This is very exciting news. We are so excited. I'm so excited for us. And can you tell us more about the Levy Academy and what it means to do something embracing it as the Levy Way?
Sure. It's a great question. So we have threaded in throughout all of our work our mission statement, which is expertise with empathy and advocacy with impact. And so that continues to be a part of the thread through the Academy. It is ingrained in all the work that we do. When we come to a table, we always want to consider the big picture, the whole child, the family's goals. And so our Academy bridges that for families, educators, mental health providers, and leaders. So the framework of our courses, and we'll be launching 4 courses to start. They're self-paced, 6-week modules. We're making them manageable, as well as that you'll feel like you're a part of a community. You'll have access to Slack and being able to have channels of communication with all of the stakeholders. And these courses do not have to be taken in any type of order. So as an educator, a parent, a mental health provider, a transformational leader, you'll all feel a part of each course, because that's truly what we need to bridge together at every table we sit at. So, Stacey, I'd love for you to jump into some of the courses. One of our courses that we started with is Foundations of Advocacy, linking the Levy Way of ensuring that connection and expertise can equal connection.
Absolutely. So one of the first courses that we're offering is Foundations of Advocacy. And as you said, it's really focused on compassion and connection. And that is the biggest piece I find when working with families is they need to feel heard and empowered to be able to confidently advocate for their students when we go sit around that table. It can be very intimidating, we know, for families to walk into a room where everyone is already set up and we know there have been conversations about their child, and perhaps in the past some trust has been lost or broken between the school system and the family, and now it's our job to really bridge that gap and meet everyone where they are and be able to have honest and open communication about the child.
Right. And I think the beautiful part of this is because we're offering it to those kind of framework of people, that they all have a role in this. And Absolutely. Where did we lose in translation? The vulnerability, families are coming to the table, talking about their own children. And sadly, the barriers and the bias and the egos that can cause such emotional setbacks for the entire team.
Yes.
And so I think that course is going to be so helpful, especially if we have a cohort of all of those types of people.
Yes. And we have an amazing guest speaker coming in.
Yes.
As part of that course. She is a licensed mental health professional. She is a parent of several school-aged children. She actually brought us on to be her advocates in the past, and we have worked very closely together. We are so excited to bring her in to share her expertise, and she will be one of our guest speakers during the first course.
Awesome. And speaking of guest speakers, one of the things we wanted to ensure every course has is a guest speaker. So not only are you getting our experience, our personal knowledge, our expertise, you're also getting someone that is very specific to our topic.
Yes.
So let's jump into multi-tiered systems of support. We've seen it in action,
Yes.
and we've seen it non-existent. And I say that and we laugh a little bit because that's a really hard conversation to have at a table when no one brings data. And that is when a teacher may feel defeated or an administrator is pointing fingers at the educator. So tell us a little bit about that course, what our intentions are, and how we're bridging educators that are doing this every day to come in and speak with us.
Absolutely.
Because they have those same beliefs.
Yes. I think, the purpose of this course is really rooted in bringing that knowledge to everyone who comes into the course. So many people don't know what MTSS is. What does it stand for? What does it look like when it is put into action with fidelity? A lot of times I go into meetings and either the child has an IEP or is about to qualify for an IEP, and they don't understand what interventions were put in place before the child got to that point. So I think it's really breaking down what is the purpose of MTSS, why did it come to be, where do students fall in tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, what's everyone's role, what's the teacher's role, the parent's role, administrator's role, what progress should we be seeing from the child, what length of time is appropriate, what are interventions that can be put into place that we know will show growth, and when is that intervention done? When is it not working? When is it time to move on?
Yes,
and
it's
try
not a
something
life
else.
sentence
Right.
to be in an intervention.
Yes.
It's
Sometimes
not.
we look at data and the kiddo has been in the same intervention for 2 or 3 years. So an appropriate length of time for an intervention, what does that look like? What's the start and stop date? And when do we know when it's time to move on by looking at the data? So that is a huge component of that course. And how do we track data? What is meaningful data? When I come to the table as a provider, what type of data is meaningful in order for me to make a change in the child's best interest?
Yes. And this is so important, not only for public sectors, but also private and independent schools.
Yes.
When they're referring to the student's home district and they're bringing numbers and test scores, and I've seen them sit there feeling so defeated because the public team will say, well, that's not enough. And I always question, if that's not enough, what are you doing that is enough? And it's frustrating because the private school is trying to have the public team understand why this child is struggling.
Yes.
And I think that this course is so important for both independent private schools and public school educators and leaders to ensure that that doesn't happen.
And to be fully transparent, right? Like when we sit down and have those conversations, especially if we have to bridge the gap between a public and private school, what is it that we're looking for? If and when we don't see that, what are our next steps? And have that forward thinking and very open and honest, transparent communication about, okay, if in 6 to 8 weeks, this is the data that we agreed to analyze and collect, and this is what we're seeing, now what?
Yes. And our guest speaker for this course is going to be an educator and a leader in a public sector. Someone that we've seen in action do the work and do the work in a meaningful way so that all players understand.
Yes.
And so we're very excited about that because that speaks back to our mission of we are bringing in educators and administrators that want transformational change in their buildings, and they want the Levy Way. They don't want to be talking about things families don't understand. They don't want to put the teacher on the spot and make them feel bad. They want to do what's best for the child. And like Stacey said, MTSS, RTI, intervention is not a life sentence.
No.
And I see this a lot with social emotional groups and lunch groups. And so we'll dive deeper into that. We could tell you all the things right now, but we'll dive deeper into that, into the course.
Absolutely. So one of the courses I'm most excited about is the neuropsychological evaluations, because I feel like, especially now, many families are pursuing outside evaluations and then bringing them to the school for consideration and how it impacts school, the child in school. And I think this course will really dive deep into what is the purpose of a neuropsychological evaluation? When do I need one? Why do I need one? What will it tell me as a parent? What will it tell me about my child? And then what do I do with it?
Yes. And it's so tricky because I think families feel when they do receive that diagnosis that is their golden ticket into an individualized education plan.
Yes.
And that's simply not true. And I think families do need to be educated on, you have this neuropsych, but you should have documented even prior grades, intervention data, back and forth communication from stakeholders that have been working with your child. Because
writing samples, work samples.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It has to be multiple measures. It can't just be the neuropsych, nor can it just be the school's data.
Right.
And we have a lot to say about that.
Yes, we
because some of the data that schools are using, and we're saying this and giggling because we see it so much, but we also feel as though something has been lost in translation, where we are using measures in schools that truly are not picking up on the areas that kids are struggling with.
Right. It's not picking up the gaps. So the gaps are still there and kiddos are moving along when those areas of needs aren't being addressed. So to have multiple measures to assess the child's true abilities is very powerful.
Agreed.
Can we talk about our guest speakers for that one?
Yes, please do. This was a great
Yes, this is a great partnership. I'm so excited about all of our guest speakers because I think it speaks so highly of, this movement that you've created and started, and really breaking down the barriers of, yes, we can have productive conversations with special ed directors and administrators and leaders in public education. And it's vulnerable, right? Like, people want to be a part of this conversation, and it's breaking down the barrier of advocate versus director, right? We all want the same thing. So for this course, we have partnered with NESCA, which is a group of neuropsychologists based in Massachusetts who have recently branched out to Florida, but they agreed to get a pool of neuropsychologists together to be our guest speakers as we go through this course, which in my opinion is invaluable. To have 1 hour on a Zoom call with a neuropsychologist sharing their expertise and background in what a neuropsychological report entails, how it helps a child in school, and what their report will offer, and then give us an opportunity to ask questions of them.
Yes, and that's the key part. Not only are you asking questions to the expert, you're digesting it in a community that's like-minded, that's a part of this coursework.
Absolutely.
So it's not a one and done. You have time to really dig deeper into some of the topics and the themes that are coming up around neuropsychs and what they look like and how teams consider them.
Absolutely. Okay, so what will participants in the course leave with when they're done with the course?
Very good question. So as we have talked about, this course is open to educators, parents and guardians, mental health providers, related service providers, and transformational leaders. You will leave with professional and personal knowledge that will be invaluable. And I think when you tell people that you took a course through Levy, automatically they're going to know that you are in this movement together. Now, you're also going to leave with professional development hours and professional learning units. So all of our courses are 10 hours. So you will leave with 10 professional learning units. That will be approved by your district based on how you present it to your district and get that approval, which we can completely help you with if needed. You're also leaving with a certificate of completion that shows that you are part of this important work. And so whether that helps you get ahead to another career change or ahead to, your own professional learning goals through the educational evaluation system, it's invaluable.
Yes.
And I think as we can shift and change this language, we are going to see what's best for kids. And that's why we're all here.
Absolutely. And there's going to be downloads and templates for participants to walk away with that you can use immediately.
Yes, scripts that can help you from the educator standpoint as well as the family standpoint. And actually, we want those scripts to look similar.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I think that having those areas to walk away with also lend itself to your own, like I said, your own personal development as a leader.
Absolutely. Okay. So we are launching all 4 courses at the same time. There's no order in the way those courses have to be completed. Can participants take more than 1 course at a time?
Of course. Yes. We have made this so manageable. And we talk to educators. We've done a lot of work behind the scenes saying, what do you need? What do you want this to look like to make it doable? All the way down to our price point. We've looked at everything from the lens of the participants that will be taking this course. And I just think that is going to hit home for a lot of people.
Yes.
To be able to personally relate and have conversations that are meaningful.
I think our framework was extremely intentional. We know everybody is pressed for time, and we want to make sure that when you sit down and engage in these courses, that it's meaningful to you and you have actionable steps to take back to immediately apply to your real life situation.
Yes. And a network to leave with.
Yes.
Based on who's in that cohort of your course, or also time to process one-on-one with you. Absolutely. You're going to be doing lives. You're going to be on the Slack answering questions as they come up. And that's the beautiful piece of this. So we are thrilled. We are here to answer questions and comments, but certainly take a look on our website about all of the offerings. Reach out to us. Let us know feedback. And we are so excited to have this movement a part of everywhere in the United States.
Absolutely. And we launch all 4 courses January 12th, 2026.
Yes. And registration starts today.
Sign up.